Can you hear me? Cool. Okay. I blame Rom Coms. It was nearing the end of a 2-month-long road trip. Just me and my dog. I was making my way back to Texas, stopping at some beautiful places in Colorado and New Mexico along the way. It was October, and the yellow aspen leaves in southern Colorado were showing off, so I decided to stop for the weekend in a small town called Salida. It was a Friday afternoon, and I found a small patio bar along the river where people gathered around a fire pit listening to a cowboy-hatted man singing covers and playing guitar. It was perfect. The bartender was dressed like every other person in rural Colorado, like he just finished climbing a mountain. He was smiley and a little flirty. We exchanged a few quips. I got my drink and sat in a rocking chair with my dog. A little while later, the bartender taps me on the shoulder and says, "I hope this isn't too forward. You're a babe." He hands me a scrap of paper with his name and number on it, like we're in a freaking rom-com. This has never happened to me in my whole life, and it is very flattering. And he was actually cute. I had been eyeing him too. I shove the paper in my pocket and leave the bar a minute or two later, half because I'm freezing and half because I feel awkward and I think he's watching me and I don't know how to act. I text some friends about what just happened so we can plot my next move. One says, "Go out with him. Why not?" Why not, I ask? Because I'm still on my period, or I'm on my period still. I'm so gassy and bloated with beer, and I haven't groomed the coochie in a few weeks. They respond, "Okay, go back to the hotel, shave your puss, and I'm sending you a gas-relieving yoga routine." Another asks, "How hot is he, 1 to 10? I would say cute, not hot. He's short, but still taller than me. He was wearing a beanie, so I couldn't see the hair situation." Follow-up question. Were you getting any danger vibes? None. I could probably plop his head like a watermelon with my thighs if I needed to. I'd never had such a rom-com moment before, and I may never again. And all the rom-coms taught me that great things are waiting if only I would say yes to such wild chances that the universe serves up. So I text him. We agree to meet up after he gets off work. I rush back to the hotel, fart a ton as I do my friend's gas-relieving yoga routine, hop in the shower for some bushwhacking, and then I'm off to meet up with Jake, the bartender. Let's see. It's going fine. And after about 45 minutes, he says, "I'm really direct, so I'm just going to say, I want you to come home with me tonight." I tell him I'm still making up my mind. I'm not opposed to a first or second date going so well with such great chemistry that it ends up leading to sex, but there isn't that kind of hot chemistry here. He's just sort of asking me to go have sex just to have sex. And mentally, I think that's fine. I want to feel like that's fine. It's just not as exciting. But he's a pretty good kisser, and this is my goddamn rom-com moment. Fuck it. Let's go back to his place. The red flags hit me in the face as soon as I walk into his room. His walls are covered with index cards with handwritten inspirational messages to himself like "one step at a time" and shit about having to climb hard mountains to see good views. I start reading them and he gets embarrassed saying, "Don't look at those, don't look at those." His birth certificate, social security card, and driver's license are neatly laid out on the desk for all to see. I snap a quick pic while he's in the bathroom in case people need to later find my killer. Already, I've clocked some pretty big clues. Number one, there's a bigger piece of paper on the wall that says priorities, education, finances, sobriety. Number two, his ID says restricted, which immediately makes me think DUI. Number three, another note card says, "Drinking will make you like dad." Big Yikes. He comes back from the bathroom and I point to the sobriety sign. Sobriety? Weren't you drinking tonight? And he kind of moans, yeah, that one's not going so well. Some clothes start coming off. He has a nice dick, so I guess I'll go ahead with this. He makes zero effort to warm me up in any way, even when I ask him to. He just starts trying to shove it in. Wait a sec. Do you have a condom, I ask him? No, I don't have one. I roll my eyes and say, I can get one from my purse. Are you sure you don't have one? And then he's all, oh, actually I do. And pulls one from the bedside table. Another big eye roll for me. We have some very mediocre sex for maybe 3 minutes when he lays back on the bed and says, I just need a sec. Only seconds later, he's snoring. Well, that was unsatisfying. I start mapping out my plan to grab my clothes and leave. Just as I start to make a move, he stirs and says, I know you probably want to go, but will you just love me up a little bit before you go? And I'm like, love you up? Do you mean, like, cuddle? And he says, yes. That's so incredibly heartbreaking. It seems like things are going really poorly in his life. I gotta get out of here. Before I can say anything, he passed out again. We only had 2 drinks together, but he clearly had a lot before that, and it seems like they all just hit. His jeans and underwear are bunched around his ankles, and I'm a very nice girl who doesn't want him to wake up drunk and trip, so I'm going to remove his pants and tuck him into bed. It's tough to get his pants or his jeans past his feet, and I soon see why. Ankle monitor. Giant freaking ankle monitor. I stand there naked looking at him. He's passed out in nothing but his socks and ankle monitor. I guess this isn't my goddamn rom-com moment. I dress quietly and leave. The next day, he texts, I was pretty smashed last night. Hope you had fun. I don't respond. There's no need to kick a man while he's down. Rom-coms taught me that wonderful things were waiting behind every door if only I took a wild chance. But this door was covered with sad index cards, and behind it was an imperfect person who couldn't meet his own needs, let alone any of mine. But I guess nobody wants to watch a movie about that.